Welcome back. We're still we're still catching up on April episodes that we didn't get filmed in time. So this is part 2 of your April Saints.
And
With long names.
Our theme is long names. Sometimes it's their personal name, sometimes it's the place they're from. Sometimes it's both.
Sometimes it's all of them.
Here we go.
April 16th. We're going to have a few of them, so I'll get it started. We got Saint Benedict Joseph Labre. Was born 1748. Died 1783. That's short.
Yeah, but look at what he was known as.
He was known as the beggar of Rome. And his patronage is bachelors, rejects, the mentally ill, beggars, hobos, and the homeless.
I love this guy. I just never remember his 3 names. Benedict Joseph Labre.
Do you know where the term hobo came from?
I do not.
It is an
Enlighten me.
It is an abbreviation of homeward bound.
Nice.
The original hobos were people returning from war who didn't have money to pay to travel across the country to their homes, so they rode the rails.
Yeah.
I mean, there is some question on that, but it's generally like there's agreement of, hobos are moving.
Yeah. A hobo rides the rails. A hobo is not just wandering down the street yelling obscenities.
Yeah, because like in the 30s, they had the whole thing. There was the people who were looking for jobs. There was the people that were traveling that were looking for jobs. And there were the people that were just traveling because they wanted to.
Yeah.
That's what I do. Next, also on April 16th, Saint Bernadette Soubirous.
Which you've probably heard of.
Saint Bernadette of Lourdes. Born the 7th of January, 1844. Died 1879. She's the one to whom Our Lady of Lourdes revealed herself in her visions.
And then following that one up, we have Blessed Francoise Miceneau Gillot. Born 1737, died 1794. Martyred during the French Revolution.
And also, Blessed Francois Suhard Menard. Born 1731, died 1794. See above.
Yep.
Also martyred during the French Revolution. Possibly with the other Blessed Francois.
There's something in my brain that wants to shout out Vive la France, but I feel like that would be inappropriate.
Yeah, that was the side that was doing the martyring at that time.
Viva Cristo Rey.
They started out with some good ideas. And
we're not going to do the French Revolution.
No, we're not doing the French Revolution. On April 17th, we have Saint Robert of Chaise. Died. We don't know when they were born, but we know that they died in 1067. They were an abbot and founder of an order who is from France.
Maybe not an order, maybe just a monastery.
Oh, it could be a founder of a monastery.
I think they founded an order, but maybe a monastery.
Maybe founded.
They founded something, and they were the abbot for a while.
I know that this is not the correct translation, but I feel like his name is Bob of God's Chair.
Yes, Bob of God's Chair, absolutely. 100%. Bob of God's Chair, yes. Say Bob of God's Chair. Pray for us. On April 18th, we've got Saint Apollonius the Apologist. Died in 185. A martyr known for his apology. Was a Roman senator.
We also have on the 18th, Saint... What is PT supposed to be? Saint Part?
Maybe just double typed Saint?
I might have typed Saint twice.
Okay, well, we're just going to
we did this. I wrote this very early in January, and then stuff happened.
We're going to call it We're going to call them Saint Pedro de San Jose Betancur.
A.K.A.
also known as Hermano Pedro.
Brother Pedro.
Also known as Santo Hermano Pedro.
Holy Brother Pedro.
Also known as San Pedro de Vilaflor.
That's a lot of names, dude.
The Flower Road, I believe that is. Born March 21st, 1626. Died 1667. From the Canary Islands. Moved to Guatemala City, where he became a Third Order Franciscan and helped the African slaves, Native Americans, and others. Founded the Bethlehemite Brothers.
Bethlehemite.
Bethlehemite Brothers and Sisters to care for the poor.
Awesome.
That person, they got a lot going for them. St. Pedro, pray for us.
What a boss.
Yeah.
I wonder if his icon has those little birds. The Canary Islands are where canaries are from, but still.
Whatever birds they have in Guatemala. On April 19th, Saint Hermogenes died in the 4th century, an Armenian martyr associated with Aristonicus, Expeditus, Gaius, Galata, and Rufus.
Yeah, I mean, none of the
I
names of their
bet
own are super
Expeditus.
long.
But as a group of them together,
But they
that's
got
a
a
lot
lot
of
of
them.
names.
That's a lot of them.
I bet Expeditus really knew how to get between one place and another.
He knew, I guess, I've done quick.
I don't know if this is the same one that we've discussed earlier, but I believe we've...
St. Hermogenes?
No, Expeditus. I believe we've
Oh.
discussed one who's actually, like, in charge of, like...
Speedy delivery.
Speedy... Yeah.
On the 20th, we have St. Hugh of Anzy-le-Duc. Died 930. They were a Benedictine from France.
On April 21st, Saint Anastasius the Sinaite
Anastasius.
died 700, abbot of a monastery on Mount Sinai, wrote a popular book that defended the faith. Good man.
On April 22nd, we have two. First one is Blessed Maria Gabriella Sagheddu, born March 17th, 1914, died 1939, a Trappist nun whose patronage is ecumenism?
Yep.
All right.
Hey,
That's a perfectly valid patronage. I haven't heard anybody. I haven't heard of people who were patrons of isms, to my recollection.
or what we phrase as the ecumenical movement.
Yes.
And also, on April 22nd, St. Theodore of Sykeon died 613 from Sykeon in Galatia, Asia Minor, was an abbot and bishop. Because all the people in Galatia are stupid.
There. We are now approaching the end of the month.
Insulting St. Theodore?
No.
I'm just quoting St. Paul. Stupid Galatians.
Yep.
He's a few centuries removed from when you all called him stupid.
Stupid. Maybe they got
We
smart.
did-
Maybe
we-
by his time they were smart.
Perhaps. We now approach the end of the month. We're at April 26th, and we got St. Paschasius Radbertus, born 785, died 865. Pretty close. That's 80. That's like 80 years there. That's
Suspiciously round.
suspiciously round. Left on the doorstep
Ooh.
of a convent in Soissons, France, as a baby, was raised by nuns and educated by monks, became a Benedictine theologian and an abbot, and wrote several important works.
Cool. Still don't know how to pronounce his name, but...
No.
On April 27th, we've got St. Lawrence Huong, died 1856, a martyr of Vietnam, a priest who was beheaded.
And then we got one that has lots of names.
All the names. Nate?
I get all the Akas. St. Theodore of Tabenna, Aka, also known as Theodore the Sanctified, also
AKA
known as Theodore the Holy, from Upper Thebaid in Egypt, was an abbot known for his miracles.
Ooh. Cool. On April 29th, St. Paulinus of Brescia, died 545, the Bishop of Brescia.
And then, rounding out the end of the month here, we got two more. St. Joseph Cottolengo,
But it's Giuseppe.
probably Giuseppe, born 1786, died 1842. Priest, founder, was known for his care of the sick and poor.
No wonder he's a saint.
Yep.
And rounding out the month of April, whenever you see this in May, St. Lawrence of Novara died 397, a priest and martyr who was killed with a group of children who he was teaching the faith to. Bastards.
Monsters.
Who would do that?
I am clearly someone who wanted to martyr people.
I don't know.
I mean, that is the most, evidence that they are a
Yeah,
Christian.
yeah.
They're literally telling other people about it at this moment.
Yeah.
I would actually
He's
argue.
a saint.
I would actually argue probably the same type of person that would kill a priest
Yeah.
in the middle of communion.
That's fair. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like, given the date of 397, this was the Romans, and the other one was clearly Eastern European.
But I'm just saying their mindset is the same.
But the empire was officially Christian by 397. I'm not saying there weren't still pagans, but it wasn't like an official persecution.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It's the same ideology, right?
We've never been on the internet and see a hot-headed, atheist that said stuff, and
it never happens.
Nope.
Never happens.
Never happens.
Or, depending on what part of the internet you're on, Calvinists or non-denoms. There are still super anti-Catholic Christians out there.
When we had our Council of Catholic Women retreat, the other event happening was the yearly meeting of the Christian Reformed Church.
Excellent. I probably knew people who were there. I probably know people who were there.
Or at least know people who know people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, comment below with any saints with really long names that we missed. Preferably with feasts in April, but really the key here is long names.
Yep.
Do you have a saint whose name is Saint this, of the saint, of the saint, of the saint? And then they found an order.
Do we have a triple barrel?
Look, that would be amazing. I love nested saints.
The little dolls of the saint.
Yeah, nesting dolls of sanctity. Yeah.
I now want to make a set of those. Where they're all different sizes because, it's...
You could do it with the Teresas because they have like a direct line of one that influenced the other.
So stand by for our next Make It Monday. We haven't done one of those in years.
It's going to be a lot of work to make
a lot of work.
Bunch of nuns and largely brown and black habits.
It's easy to make.
I don't know how to make matryoshka dolls, so...
Maybe we'll just buy a set and we can repaint them. Work smarter, not harder.
I have a set, but it's got like pandas and elephants and stuff.
Listen, this would be a sacrificial set. We don't want to take your pandas
somewhere
away.
you're gonna have to paint Jesus on one because you got Teresa of the Child Jesus.
So, once you've commented below, make sure you like this episode, subscribe to our channel, ring the church bell to be notified the next time a plot is uploaded.
Maybe our May Saints sometime in the month of May. Who knows what's going to happen?
We're really hoping to have those ones out in the month of May.
We really hope that we don't have a month as disrupted as April was, because April was a doozy.
Yeah.
Again, even before the Pope died, this month was wacky.
That's a doozy.
There's still polls that are down.
Yeah. Oh, at least we weren't up in Gaylord, those poor people.
Yep. So until next time, remember, as always, to live your faith.
Love your faith.
Share that love.